Interested is it with celebrities, when they have something to promote, they decide to get controversial. And in the shape of comedian Sir Lenny Henry, he's never really far from that pressing the button to make sure he gets some headlines. Of course, to make sure whatever he's now currently in gets some traction. But this particular comment, which he made about a fellow comedian who is sadly no longer with us, truly did get all the wrong reaction for him. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. As ever, lovely to have your company. Welcome one and all. Comedy's a funny business, you know. I mean, I should know that firsthand because done comedy myself, still appear in comedy. And more importantly, you know, it's divisive, isn't it? One person likes you, the next person doesn't. Been lucky enough to interview so many great comedians over the years, including Joan Rivers, chatting with Phyllis Diller, you name it. Those people that truly make us laugh deserve everything. Simply because, of course, when you think about it, to stand up there alone with just a microphone is really daunting. You know, you really want the audience to be with you, but you can't always be sure they're going to be with you. Now, Lenny Henry, you know, got his very big break way back in the 1970s on a TV talent show. Very clever the way that they put his act together. He was a mimic, did some comedy impressions and managed to get through the next few years living off that, if you like. You know, he did variety, toured with the now infamous Black and White Minstrels as the only true coloured person within the troupe. Moaned about that in his book years later, but was very happy, of course, to take the work and the substantial salary. But now he's decided, because he has a new streaming TV show to promote, to do this. This all centres on is the fact that Sir Lenny has pointed out that a fellow comedian from the 1970s, the very much infamous Bernard Manning, was nothing but a bigoted racist or something like that. Some ridiculous comment. Now let me tell you, I knew Bernard personally, as did my father. Really nice man, you know, the character that you saw on screen, yes, salty, but nonetheless very funny. But the character off screen, kind, generous, and more importantly, wanted to keep it all under wraps. He was the man who had his own club up in Manchester, and he would open it for all communities, all faiths, for anything that they needed, afternoon teas, whist drives, bingo, you name it. He was a very generous man. And all the communities around his area truly loved Bernard, you know. It was only the popular press that decided that he was such a bad boy. Bernard liked that image though, you know, because of course it helped fill out theatres, didn't it? It worked in his favour. A little bit like the latter-day comedian Roy Chubby Brown. So for Lenny to basically hit out at this particular guy who's sadly no longer with us seems a little bit cruel. So why did he do it? Well, we dug a little bit deeper and it would appear that Lenny holds something of a grudge. And as ever, we have to say allegedly. This is because way back in the late 70s, early 80s, when Lenny was kind of struggling, the place to appear was none other than Bernard Manning's Embassy Club, his own club, just outside Manchester. Now, it could be that Lenny's agent at the time failed to secure him a spot. Bernard was rather picky about the comedians that he had on. In fact, Michael Barrymore, he threatened to pay off because he said he simply wasn't funny. I'm saying nothing. So, you know, when you dig a bit deeper, people wait a long time, but then they decide to get their own back, possibly more, as I say, to help promote the product that they have now. But have you noticed with Lenny, there's always some problem. It's always somebody else's issue. There's not enough black people on TV. He was treated badly when he was working out as an early comic. There was racist comments. You name it, you know. How about Lenny, also Lenny, because that's who you are, looking at the positives, what your career has given you. Extreme wealth, popularity, and over 60 to keep on working. Try and find the positives rather than looking at the negatives, and more importantly, slandering rather cruelly a man who simply can't answer back. These legions of millions of fans, of course, are up in arms, but more importantly, Bernard's true comedy lives on through DVDs and digital media. Many, many laughs to be found, but as I say, a little bit of a warning, but nonetheless, Bernard Manning shines bright. Hope the same can be said for Sir Lenny Henry in the future. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.